So this is going to be a brief tutorial on how to take images that you've shot by panning around a scene and then photo merging them using Adobe Photoshop. Your first instinct might be to open all of these pictures within Photoshop, but it's not going to work that way. In this assignment, you're actually going to go through Photoshop and open the images after you've told Photoshop what you want it to do with those images. And that is in File, Automate, and then move down to the Photomerge option. When you click that open for the first time, you have some options here that you can work with depending on the type of merge that you're working with. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and do auto and see how well it does the work that I want to do. But also there's some images, some options here that allow you to automatically correct for distortion, and any areas that are blank will be filled in using content aware. So if you check all of these boxes, it's going to do a lot more processing for you and make the result better than if you don't. So I'm going to do auto and see how it handles it, and I'm going to go to browse. And then I'm going to, at that point, switch my desktop view to the Photoshop Merge tutorial, which, if it's in alphabetical order, should be right here. And I'm going to choose all of those images and open all of them using the Photomerge option. Once I click OK, it gets to work. Now this is basically where it will open up each individual image as a layer within a panorama that it's building. So I don't think that you'd see each one as a document. You would see them as layers, and it'll all come together and blend. And that little symbol right now that we're looking at is showing you that it's taking quite a bit of time to process. I think it was 8 images total. So it's going to go through all of them and go through its steps of aligning the layers and working on vignetting and doing all the digital processing. At this point, you just got to wait. And so now we're back. After a long time, the computer's processed just about everything that it needs to put the photograph together. You can also see that it used looks like some content-aware work to make sure that the shape was rectangular. It's done its best job to correct for distortion, although there are some manual ways to do that. Not necessary for this project, but just know that there's ways that you can make it work. And you'll also notice, too, that in the layers section, it almost looks like states. It's taken each image and created a layer and worked with it so that you see the final composite image and then all of the layers that go into that image. It's, again, giving you an indication. I think Command D deselects that. It's just letting you know what it did for content aware to fill. Some of those choices it made a little bit less sense than others. But in the end result, you have a stitch of as many pictures as you did into one image. And that, again, is a significant image. So when you're working with that, if you save as, and if you do it as a Photoshop file, it's not going to be something that is easy to work with. But again, if you switch it here to a JPEG and make it a panorama, and it's dropping it right back into the same folder that I got it from. Again, it's going to be big. Because this is a composite image, you may want to make a backup copy of it and work with that backup copy if you want to do any other edits. And I'm going to go ahead and make it as large as I can just so I can see what that file size is, and hit OK. But at that point, basically, it should work as a photograph. And if I am selecting the top layer and I didn't make my copy, you should be able to do small things. Like, for example, I noticed there's some dust on this. Actually, that was the reason why. If you want to do some corrections, you'd have to open it up as a separate document. But I made a panorama JPEG. And in that separate object, if you see anything like dust sensor spots, then you can work with that to do all of your content-aware deletion. So in this case, I'm just going to select that little dust speck right there, hit delete, and it will clean up that for me. Anyway, this concludes the tutorial. Obviously, I'll have to speed up some of it, and hope that you're able to get some great panoramas. Thank you for watching.